Welcome, guys, to 1% Talks, hosted by myself, Nano Torres. I am so blessed and so grateful that I get a chance to interview the top 1% entrepreneurs, business owners, real estate, athletes, you name it. We are interviewing the best of the best when it comes to the 1% Talks, and I am just so blessed and grateful. I hope everybody is having a blessed morning. I know that today is Thursday, so we are always blessed and grateful to be back with another great episode of 1% Talks. And trust me, today we have a very special guest here with us that I am very excited to interview. I've been wanting to interview this individual now for a couple, and we've had a relationship for a couple of, I think over a year now, yeah, for sure, and just been a great support and to everything. So I'm just really looking forward to it, and I'm excited for it. So yes, it's that time, cryptophil. We're gonna bring you up here in a couple of minutes, bro. Let me just get everybody in, family, as everybody's getting in. Let me know how you guys are feeling today. How's everyone feeling today in the chat box? I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling aligned. I'm feeling well rested. The rain here in Miami has been awesome. Whenever you have rain, you just want to kind of chill, relax. But, it's been amazing because yesterday we had a chance to launch the Miami market, and we got a chance to put about 40 people in the room, and it just felt great. It just felt so great to have so many amazing people come together and just launch the Miami market. So if you guys are in the Miami area, South Florida, in this area, let us know because we got big things coming. And I'm just so blessed and grateful for it. But in the meantime, guys, let's also express some gratitude. As you guys know, gratitude is the source where all good things come from. And, I am just so grateful for God. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my mind, my body, and my spirit. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my mother, my dad, my little brother, my goddaughters, and my godson. I'm extremely grateful for my team and all the great leaders that I have within my organization. I'm grateful for my girlfriend, Katie. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for the condo. I'm grateful for the information. I'm grateful for my mentors. I'm grateful for my brother, cryptophil. I'm grateful for my dog, Hazel. Extremely grateful. So just really looking forward to another great episode. And guys, look, let me tell you guys that the individual that I'm going to be meeting today and actually interviewing here today is one of a kind. Trust me, you do not want anyone on your teams, anyone that you follow to miss this call. So send this out to 3 friends, 3 family members real quick. Send it out to 3 people. Let 3 people know, yo, jump on this live. You can't miss this. This is going to be incredible because I know it really is, and I am super excited for it. So let me just pin this right here, 1% Talks. And we're going to get this started. We already got about 100 people on, and I'm just super blessed, guys. So let's keep spreading the word. 1% Talks have been amazing. Honestly, they really have. Put a 222 in the chat if you guys have been getting value from the 1% Talks. If you guys have been learning and gaining breakthroughs and just having realizations because of the 1% Talks. Put some 222s in the chat box for me if you've been having those realizations. Because, man, I'm going to put a 2 in the chat box for me, okay? I'm going to put a 2 in the chat for me because I think this is valuable. And I know that I get a lot of people asking me about YouTube on this. YouTube, we'll be back with YouTube here shortly. We have switched it over to Instagram for a little bit because I was having some problems with YouTube and going live on there. So I am going to be going back to YouTube eventually here at some point. But in the meantime, we've just been taking advantage of just using Instagram, trying something different, doing new things. And it's something that I'm excited about. Yo, cryptophil, if you can request a live, because I'm about to bring you up. But the individual that I'm actually going to be interviewing today is somebody that most of us don't even know. Most of you guys are not going to know who he is. This is somebody that I got a chance to meet at a networking event, okay? And this is why I tell people networking events are so powerful because you never know, who you're going to meet at these networking events. And I remember going to this crypto networking event, and you're talking to people, and then I meet this guy, and we're talking about crypto, we're talking about podcasts, and it was just like, you ever meet somebody and you automatically hit it off with them? Like it was like almost like a match made in heaven. Like you're like, boom, and you guys just relate. You guys have so many great ideas together. You're like, bro, we need to make money together. It was just like, it hit right there. He ended up inviting me to dinner that day with me and a couple of my friends. We ended up going to this beautiful Mexican restaurant. This was in Arizona, by the way. And man, we just had such a great time. He took us out to dinner, bought us food, poured so much value into all of us. And it was just one of the best things ever that we met like that. And ever since then, we've stayed in contact, we've supported each other. This is somebody who's been in the crypto industry for years, somebody who speaks on stages, builds multiple businesses. And, I told him just a couple of weeks ago, I was like, bro, I need to have you on 1% Talks. He was like, bro, he was traveling at the time. He had a couple of things going on. But I promise you guys, this is one of the smartest, most intelligent individuals that you can learn from. And I'm super excited to bring him up. So without further ado, let me bring up my brother, okay? And somebody that I have a lot of respect for, somebody that is on his way to do amazing things in this world, none other than my brother, cryptophil. Taking the time to hop on today's call, brother. And, I'm blessed, I'm grateful, and, let's bring him up right here. He should be coming up here shortly. There he is.
Yo.
What up, my brother? I'm blessed, man.
How you
feeling this morning?
Hey, I appreciate that. A lot of love. Thank you guys for hopping on. This is going to be an amazing call. We've tried to do this for at least a year.
We tried to do it a couple of times. It just time didn't align, but everything happens in divine reason, right?
No, this is perfect timing. So everybody that's on here, you're going to get immense value. Please get your notepads out. Take as many notes as possible. Because the goal for us is just to leave you guys with a lot of jewels. We don't just read these books to be selfish, but to be selfless and give them out to you guys. Everybody out here is hustling. They're working hard. Not everybody can go and read the sauce that a lot of people have laid for us and then give it out.
Yeah, man, I've been excited for this, bro. I got my notebook out. Every time you talk, bro, my notes is always, and I always get so much value from it. But let me just tell you a little bit about 1% Talks, bro, because 1% Talks is something that I started a couple of weeks ago. I know you saw a couple of them. You were on a couple of them as well. But it was just something that came to my mind. We started them and we were like, yo, why not just interview the 1% of the individuals that understand this mindset and that are on their way to accomplish great success? And, I started to just pick and choose the different individuals that I wanted to interview that I knew had that 1% mindset. And you're one of them. And I know that a lot of my audience, doesn't know who you are. They don't know who cryptophil is, how you even got the name. So I always ask every person that I'm interviewed to just share a quick story of, who is cryptophil? Where do you come from? What is your career? Tell us a little bit about that, because I know a lot of people on this call don't know who you are, and a lot of people are going to be don't know either. So just give us a little background on who cryptophil is. Who were you before the success, before everything? And I think that's where we'll start. And then I got a couple of fire questions for you here today, my brother.
All right, let's run it. So we'll go back to Miami. So born in Miami, parents are from Haiti. So all Caribbean family, all Caribbean cultures. I love the Miami is actually still home to me, even though I was raised in Atlanta. So in 2000, family moved to Atlanta. So born in low-income housing, Section 8, until I was in the 4th grade. So once we transferred from Section 8 to low-income housing, then we went to lower middle class. And in that lower middle class, with a family of 11, it's very hard, right? Like if I think about the past, I realize that if you're in such a big family, you're not really seen, right? Your parents are doing their best to provide, so you can't get all the attention. So for me, I grew up and I was raised in so many different homes, so many different families, so many different cultures, so many different religions, so many different perspectives on life. And that allowed me to advance myself and realize, okay, well, what type of family do I like? What type of people do I want to be around? And as I grew up, I play football in high school, play football in college, and I wanted to be the suit and tie guy. Right, getting raised in low-income housing, Section 8, they always look at the guy that looks successful. I didn't really see athletes as people who were success to me because to me, they played a game. I want to know the fundamentals of business and how to scale. And to me, it was the guy in the suit and tie. So if you ask people who grew up with me and went to college with me, I wore suits and ties to college. I wore, because after I played football, I went to Georgia State in the city. So my idea was I need to dress to impress, but dress to attract. Because those that see me wearing this to class, maybe they'll ask me the question, why are you wearing this to class? And maybe that'll spark a conversation. And as I grew up, I always wanted to work with the job that had the highest potential for me to scale. It was insurance. I majored in insurance and I worked into the field. I went into corporate and I prided myself on getting into places that were very difficult. As a minority, right? That's what they call us. It's very difficult for us to get into certain places because certain people feel hindered by either their lack of dialogue, their ability to articulate, their ability to connect, their ability to be seen in the workplace. And a lot of people don't understand that even though like racism and all this doesn't exist, you still get perceived by the external view of who you are, right? People see you, you may be seen as Nano, but some people may see you as, oh, you're Hispanic, right? Or some people may see me as Phil, or they may say, oh, he's a black guy. And we both don't know what they experience with somebody within that culture. So as you go into these corporate workplaces, it's very hard to individualize yourself and express who you are because you're scared that you're going to be the man out, or you're scared that you're going to be the one that's separate from everybody else. But for those of you who are in corporate, for those of you who are in a place where you can't really be yourself because you're hindered by your potential, then this is a perfect talk for you because I'm going to help you guys transition your mindset into what happened to me and how I broke out of that mindset. So as I realized I need to start something as an entrepreneur, I need to start a side hustle. But one thing I didn't do, I didn't let go of the machine, right? You guys have to have a machine. You guys need something that's going to produce money for you. And then as you're building your side hustle will then become your main hustle. But you need to be an expert at the side hustle. I worked 16 jobs before, 16 jobs, 4 careers, and then started a business. So I would work weekends, I would work nights, I would work all the time. And that's what got me to be able to break through because I'm going to work when you can't. I'm going to work when you're not. I'm going to study when you're not because my job is to play this game of life. And if you're going to play to win. So to me, as you keep punching, right? It's the law of large numbers, right? You're potentially going to break through. So as my first entrepreneur journey kicked in, I got into Airbnb. Then I built a cannabis farm. Then I invested in cryptocurrency. And that took me into realizing that it wasn't really just about investing in cryptocurrency, but it was more like, oh shit, this is freedom. I don't understand stocks. My friends around me don't understand stocks, bonds, mutual funds. But this new money seems different. This seems like this is a chance for the entire globe to compete. And I used to run to the parents and tell all the parents, and I realized that I can't tell the parents because they've been conditioned to believe that the system was for them. They were grown up to believe that the banking system, the banks, were there to protect them, that politicians had their best interests, right? As millennials, as Gen Z, as the next move of generation, we have to realize that we're left with a large pile of debt, but we also have to make sure that we're innovating ourselves. If your parents don't want to believe you, if you're at dinner at Thanksgiving and no one wants to believe you about crypto and all these things, that's fine. They're not supposed to. That's your job to now advance them. That's your job to read the Bitcoin Standard, to read The Righteous Mind, to read The Sovereign Individual, right? It is your job, and we'll tap into these books later, but it's your job to now educate those who are uneducated. And to me, I've moved from after I made 7 figures in crypto, and I said, I need to do something big because it's not about me. It's about how can I help everybody else get into the space, which is what brought me to Dubai. I went to events in Dubai, Miami, and I came with the idea to do a documentary about cryptocurrency around the world. I went to Central Africa Republic, which is the second poorest country in the world. They adopted Bitcoin as legal tender, and that inspired me because Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, who's in his 40s, and he's somebody that is a revolutionary, right? He's a young president putting his best foot forward. And once I got deep into crypto and realized it's not really about, you're going to make a lot of money regardless. If you buy crypto, you're going to make a lot of money. But really, it's understanding the fundamentals of how do you protect yourself? How do you protect your legacy, right? How do you, because you and I both know you don't have gold bricks in your house, and neither do I. And our generation is not going to lug around gold bricks. What we're going to do is we're going to have something on Ledger where we can take anywhere in the world, and our password is encrypted inside of our mind. And that's what took me into getting into crypto. And then the cryptophil came because I went to, actually, funny story, I was at a political event in Houston. And a big part of me got into politics because I realized that young people don't realize that in order to make change, you have to understand the political structure. You have to get involved. You have to be educated so you know who to vote for and who's actually for you, right? Don't listen to the news, but do work yourself. And I was very politically illiterate. So instead of reading about it, I just went and got in. I went to events. I got in front of people that are very powerful. And I realized that there's so much that we don't know because so many people look at content on social media, believe what one person says instead of finding their own objective opinion, because many people don't read. People just like to be listeners or followers, which are fine, right? But if you're going to follow somebody, follow a leader that's going to be very potent in their content and give it to you the real way. So I was at this event, and it was a Black Republican that just won his race. And at the time, cryptophil wasn't adopted. I actually didn't even like the name cryptophil because I wasn't really known for crypto. Even though I had crypto, I was really known for just, I wasn't known for crypto. I kept talking about crypto. So I went to the event. I didn't know that he knew me, the senator. So he knew me as cryptophil, but I knew myself as Phil. So I walk into this room, and through manifestation in my head, right before I'm walking in, I'm like, oh yeah, this event's for me. I'm practicing in my mind what type of event I would want. So before I'm walking in, I'm like, oh yeah, this is my event. I'm going to walk in here feeling like they're here for me. Well, when I walk in there, when the senator sees me, he goes, cryptophil. And believe it or not, out of 200 people in the room, 150 people scream cryptophil. I was like, all right, I'll run with it, right? So then that's when I got empowered to travel the world. I'm actually writing a kids book so parents can teach their kids about cryptocurrency, because I know it's very difficult to learn the entire spectrum of it. So I'm finding ways to create tools for people to
I
unlock
love that,
themselves
bro.
and win.
Thank you for sharing that powerful story, bro. And I think it's amazing how, you transition through so many different, phases in your life, bro. And, being raised in Miami to, living in ATL and traveling to all of these different places and countries, all the family stuff that you had to deal with, the cultures, I think is super powerful. And, your story is very powerful, honestly, bro. The books that you've read, the books that you wrote for kids. What's the name of the book that you wrote for kids? Is it out already, or is it?
So I'm almost done with it. I'm actually going through the chapters, but basically it's cryptophil and robo, and what they do, they leave the future of money where blockchain and Bitcoin already exist, and they go back to the past. So they start into the past and they teach about what happened with money over time. So we go back to the barter system. We go back to the fall of Rome. We go back to the tulip bubble. We go back to the Roaring '20s and the Great Depression. Then they go through 1971. Then they get to Bitcoin, and then they get to the future of technology. So it has short stories in each chapter that's easy to read. And basically what I do is I make it very interesting to read, even for adults. I mean, I say kids book, but really it's an adult kids book, right? Because it's going to fast forward your knowledge on money in one simple book where not only the kid can understand it, but you can understand what is going on in the future, right? What is this massive transition happening? How did we get to here, right? How do we get to conversations where our parents can now understand this, or we can now, when they read this book, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know. I mean, think about this. People don't even know the 5 characteristics of money, right? The 5 characteristics. What does money have to be money?
Say it one more time. Sorry,
What do you think,
I
Nano?
was taking notes, bro.
No, you good. What are the 5 characteristics that something
Tangible?
has to be money? Tangible, right? So another one is divisible. You got to be able to divide it, right? Which you can with gold. You got to be able, it's portable. You can lug around gold. It's not really ideal, but you can lug it around. Recognizable, right? You and I both have to recognize that this is actual currency, right? This dollar bill is real. I can look at it and you and I recognize that this is actual currency. Then you have to be able, I think the most important thing is scarce. It has to be scarce. You and I have to both want it. We want American dollars because that's what they give us, not that we want it, right? Because when you were born, did you get the choice to choose the dollar or not? Like, when you were born, did you get an option to say, I'm going to pay in something else? Right. So you were told you have to use this dollar. So it's not that it was scarce. You were just forced to use it. See, the thing is with Bitcoin, Bitcoin is an option. Bitcoin was chosen by the people. And I didn't know that Bitcoin was freedom money. I got into it because I'll tell you how I made money, to be honest with you. I was like, okay, so 2017, I saw this thing rise up and then fall. And I kind of missed that run. I made money and lost money. And then 2019, I got deeper into it. I started understanding the halving, which I know you guys talked about in the last live. And I started understanding the mechanism. I started understanding the mining protocols, the fact that 30% of Bitcoin is lost forever, the fact that most people hold their Bitcoin. And I was like, oh shit, in every country, every person, every business, every car, everything can purchase a piece of this gold and hold it in their head. I said, oh shit. And what I really saw was the parents saying, we don't believe in this, this is fake. When I saw that, I said, this is time. Because before they realize what this is, we have to win. Millennials, Gen Z, Alpha, there are young kids who I've met around the world when I traveled. They're rich, they're wealthy, but it's not about that. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. My life, I have a lot of things that people want. I would say I have someone's dream life. I have this apartment that I'm never in, right? I own Tesla. I own a slingshot that I don't even drive. All these things I thought that would bring me happiness. I travel all the time on my time. I'm able to own a lot of designer, which I don't really wear anymore. So all these things that I thought would bring me happiness, it didn't. Because once you do make money in crypto, it's not for now, it's for later. Delayed gratification is for satisfaction of your future self. So every time you buy an Ethereum, you're paying for your future self. Because Ethereum will hit 100 grand one day. When people realize what the technology is, what this is doing for the future, there's not going to be a pension for our generation. There's not going to be Social Security. If people want to save themselves and they can't invest in real estate, get into crypto, but understand the fundamentals, because this is all game theory. And this is something else I realized about game theory. And just so you guys know what game theory is, you have the finite game and you have the infinite game, right? The finite game is where you play and at the end there's a winner and loser. The infinite game is you play to keep playing. And I said, okay, that's interesting. So tell me more about that. I dive into it. So, okay, the game theory for Bitcoin is that smaller countries that have already been beat down by the US dollar, like El Salvador, like Central African Republic, like Mexico, like Panama, these countries that just get plundered by the US dollar, well, if they adopt it first and they're able to accumulate it, then when the big dogs get in, they now take over the wealth structure, right? Because the last to get in loses. And the last to get in are going to be the people who are stubborn, people who don't believe in it, people who don't understand that the dollar is being devalued every single day. I know you guys talked about the BRICS currency. That is huge. BRICS is something that, even though it will take a while for the US dollar to diminish its value, there's an attack on our currency because our system is so fragile, right? Because our president is so fragile. This man, everybody in this call can blow at our president and he'll fall and collapse. And as a leader of a country, we all want somebody that will stand strong, right? If you think about the barbarian, think about the Trojans, you want a leader that's going to stand strong. Our president is not someone who's standing strong. But what is our own individual freedom, right? And that's what's so important is, as you guys realize that it's even less about the money, but to me, it's more, we had to talk yesterday about freedom, right? Most people don't even have an identity of what freedom means to them. People say, well, I just want to be able to make more choices in life, or I want to be able to buy whatever I want and do whatever I want. But is that true freedom? how do you define freedom? Is freedom when you have what you want, then what? Right? I consider myself to have what I want. My parents live in Florida in a nice, beautiful home on the water. I get to travel when I want. I don't have somebody tell me what to do with my schedule. I'm not hindered by a salary and someone to chokehold me into staying in a place I don't want to be in. But at the end of the day, you guys have to think about, what does freedom mean to me? And what does it take to get to that freedom? I know in the last talks, he said, do whatever you can to buy and accumulate crypto. I agree. My entire existence right now is to just start businesses to buy crypto. That's it. Start businesses to then accumulate Bitcoin. Non-stop. There's nothing, I can buy real estate. That's cool. But guess what? When the government decides to be totalitarian, just like they did in 1933, and just so you guys have a history, let's do a little history check, right? From 1900 till today. How long has the dollar been in existence, do you think, Nano? How long do the dollars had its power?
100 years?
About 100 years, right? So I'll tell you why we gained our power. Because before that, it was the euro. How we gained our power is they looked at America and they said, oh, shit, Henry Ford, Vanderbilts, Andrew Carnegie, Rockefellers, oh, they got something going on. And then they're good at killing people. And they're good at taking gold. All right, look, we'll give you guys the power. So 1933, during the Great Depression, FDR said, well, we're going into another war. We need to print more money, but we need more gold because the dollar was backed by gold, right? That's when the dollar was worth something. It was backed by gold. Well, guess who had the gold? The people. So guess what FDR said? It's now illegal to hold gold. So everyone had to come and turn in their gold for paper money. So they had to confiscate the gold and then print more money. So after World War II, then you had 1944, you have Bretton Woods, where they all came together. They said, all right, America, you have the most gold. You are now the world's reserve currency. And as we took the reign of that, right, we also took responsibility. But guess what? People are people. People think for themselves. So these people that are in control of this, you walk into a safe. Let's say you walk into a safe, Nano, and we all said, all right, Nano, you're in charge of this whole warehouse full of gold. Here's the keys. Do whatever you want. That's what happens to people when they walk in, and the people like us, we all stand in line, we all give up our goods. Because guess what? The government used to work for the people, but now the people work for the government. So the minds have changed and people aren't aware of that. So when we gave up our gold, we gave up our power. And in 1971, Richard Nixon said, look, we got to print money. After World War II, people came back, they were ready to work. The economy was ready to break through. Like, all right, print more money. That's what they say. To me, I think it's because we didn't really have any gold. I think that they spent it. So they had to take the gold standard off. But 1971, there's actually a website called What the Fuck Happened in 1971, or WTF 1971. And it'll tell you how powerful what happened that day or that year has done to us today. The printing of dollars, right? We actually, everybody on this call has money, and you actually believe that the dollar, the fiat, and fiat, you know what fiat means? Fiat means by decree. By decree means because I told you so. So fiat is just paper. That means I told you it has value and you believe it. I told you it has value and then you believed it. So what happens is all of us are circulating this currency and we believe there's value. So if we believe it, it's going to continue to stay that way, even though it's been devalued. Because as young people, as millennials and Gen Z, a lot of us don't own assets. And as we know, they don't want us to own any assets. The idea is that you don't own any assets and you relinquish it to the government. And here's what I think too, and this is my own theory, that once the United States has to start purchasing Bitcoin, the number to Bitcoin will go so astronomically high that one day they will come to knock on your door and potentially try to confiscate your Bitcoin. And we see that, and there was actually a story yesterday, a guy from Georgia. I don't know if you heard about the UGA kid that had $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Oh man, so you guys know about the Silk Road?
Put us on, brother. We here for you, bro.
All right, so the dark web was one of the most important steps to the rise of Bitcoin, right? The dark web was a marketplace where Edward Snowden allowed people to exchange goods. It doesn't matter if you did drugs, guns, letters. And the idea wasn't for it to be about drugs. The idea was that we needed free commerce. We need to be able to exchange the way we want to exchange, no matter what it is. That's freedom. I know people say, well, take the bad people out and do this, but then what happens is when you allow government when we hand control to the government and we hand over our control, the government says, oh, wow, they're listening. These puppets are listening. So that means if we tell them to go sit over there, they'll sit. And that's what's happening. So during that time, they used Bitcoin when Bitcoin wasn't being used, because on the blockchain, no one could figure out how to track the transactions on the blockchain. So now Bitcoin had utility. People are exchanging it on a dark web for all types of goods. Well, Edward Snowden, they pulled up on him in a library. FBI were able to get him with his laptop open and then confiscate the 120,000 Bitcoins that he had and then lock him up for the freedom. I actually went to a Bitcoin conference where I heard his mother speak. And she was reading letters from what he wrote in jail, and it was so powerful. He says, I've done nothing wrong. Yes, I built a program that allowed people to have a micro autonomy of freedom, but now I'm enslaved inside of this box because of a choice for freedom. And his mom speaks on how Bitcoin is the only chance for you and I to have freedom, because ownership of an asset doesn't mean you have freedom. Ownership of an asset means that you're renting it from the government, because you guys still pay property tax. That's why people lose their homes, because they have property taxes. You have tax liens. Bitcoin, your password's here. This is your real estate. So I'm gonna go back to the guy in UGA, $3 billion. This story just came out yesterday or 2 days ago. So he actually found an arbitrage to steal 50,000 Bitcoin from the dark web, or from transactions of people that were doing. And during that time, the FBI, they've been doing a lot of deep research on a blockchain, how to track transactions and how to do things. And just so you guys know, even though Bitcoin is decentralized, once you buy crypto on Coinbase, on a centralized platform, which is owned by BlackRock, which is owned a little bit by Fidelity, which is owned by larger corporations who typically control the entire world, what happens is when you put it on a ledger, your transactions are on the blockchain. And what happens is they can track, like example, if your Bitcoin, even though your password's in your head, it's not that it's anonymous that you have it, because it's on the blockchain. You could send it from Coinbase to your hardware wallet, and Coinbase could send that information to the government and say, okay, well, this is so-and-so, they logged in their name, this is their address, and they sent it to this address, right? So this kid, what he would do, and when he had 50,000 Bitcoin in 2017, he was a bigger Asian guy, looked like he didn't have many friends. Well, he bought his friends. So he's taking his friends on yachts in Miami. He's buying Lamborghinis. He's having fun with his life. He spent like 27 million. And then he invested into a property in Nashville, where he was going to invest 47 million in this commercial real estate property, right? Trying to just send his funds out, diversify it, move it around. Well, when they were able to, all these CIA agents are able to now look at these addresses. Okay, where did this go? Where did this go? And that's their job, is just to find out, right, the source of these transactions. So then what they found out was that, okay, this kid is cashing out X amount of dollars coming from this wallet that came from this source. So then they would go knock on his door. And what they did, they caught him off guard, because then they went down to his basement, got his wallet address, and then probably got him to give up his password, and probably threatened him for life in prison if he didn't give up the password. So then they confiscated $3 billion worth of Bitcoin. Now remember, the password is yours. You have to give it up, because Bitcoin is built on incorruptible software, right? Bitcoin is on a blockchain. And just so you guys know, I'm going to explain to you guys what a blockchain is in the most simple terms, because a lot of people are invested in crypto, invested in Ethereum, invested in all these things, and you guys have no idea how the stuff works. So on the blockchain, if I send Nano $10, that $10 gets distributed to nodes all over the world, whether it's a node in New Zealand under a cave, or in China under the water, or in a business, or in somebody's basement. There's essential. You could have a node in your room, and so can I. When I send $10, it gets distributed. Each node does a very difficult mathematical equation to verify if it's a real transaction. So you have nodes that don't talk to each other, but that are all incentivized to make sure that it's protected. And then they pass it through through to you, right? So even though it takes time, even though transactions are slow, it is decentralized, but it's also protected. Another easier way to understand this: if you're El Salvador, this is how powerful the blockchain is. If you're El Salvador and you went to attack the United States military, we spend trillions of dollars on our military. El Salvador probably spends a couple billion, right? Would it make sense financially
No.
to attack the United States? Not at all, because you're going to spend 10 billion to lose 100
Exactly.
billion, right? Worth of value, worth of people, worth of resources. It's the same with Bitcoin. When you try to hack into a block, when the information is inside of a block on the blockchain, you try to hack into that block to take $1 million, it'll cost you 10 to 100 million. So you're not incentivized to attack the block. That's why it's so powerful. That's why the blockchain can be used for everything: to protect your home, to protect your resources, to protect your information, your identity. But it's when we give our keys away is when we don't have access to it. Not your keys, not your coin. But the future, just so you guys know what the future looks like, the future is going to be so beautiful. Like, this is the time, this is what I call the digital renaissance. Everyone on here should have I call it the Bitcoin plan. You just get a wall and write Bitcoin or crypto, Ethereum, whatever it is. And write down a commitment of how much you want to put every 2 weeks, because after this next halving, it will be impossible, unless you have a large amount of money, to catch at these numbers to become very, very wealthy, right? This is the last go round for you to become very wealthy. Last one was like ultra go round. This is the last as far as affordability. You give me buying Ethereum at 15 to 20 grand, Bitcoin at 125 to $400,000, and it's gonna be unaffordable for the middle class. So everybody who's on here who wants a chance to build wealth, I'm not a trader, right? I'm a Buffett when it comes to buying crypto. I'm a 10-year holder, because I know they're gonna print more money. We're gonna go into war. But guys, you're on this call because you guys want to win, and you guys are winning because you guys are ahead by just listening. So to do that, you have to strategize. You have to get ahead. You have to continue to educate yourself, because things are in real time. We're living in history, right? We have our own country attacking us, where, let's be honest, right? They're attacking they're attacking males. They're attacking females. They're exercising the estrogen in males, exercising the testosterone in females, and then they're also making it very difficult for us to borrow money, to start businesses, right? To go and work for a company, right? A lot of people want to become entrepreneurs, start their own thing, but you don't want to become a solopreneur, because it is lonely once you get to the top, right? You want partnership is the best thing, because cooperation, what's my saying? It's cooperation without cooperation, it leads to devastation, because we must work together. It's not by my own tools that I can get to the top. And guys, I live at the top, and it's lonely, right? Me and Nano met because when me and him locked arms, I'll be honest with you guys, it was a powerful connection. And we both stood there and was quiet for at least 5 seconds and was like, yeah, I have felt this energy before. And in that sense, I just went through my own awakening. So at the time, I'm like, who are the people that understand what I know? Not just about money, not just about mindset, but about who you really are. Because at the end of the day, right, there's a lot more power behind this, right? Cryptophil was just a symbol, but behind cryptophil, really, my purpose in life is just to ignite the spirit in everybody that's on this call, because everybody knows that they have an infinite potential. The 7 spiritual laws of success, the law of pure potentiality, says that you are infinite creativity. That means that you're not just a mom, a sister, a brother, a business person, an entrepreneur, a speaker. You're everything. You're everything. You're a doctor. You're a lawyer. You're a businessman. You're intelligent. You're powerful. The problem is, when you were brought here, you lost your power because you were told that you didn't have any power. And everybody believed it, right? That was a joke. Everybody believed that they were powerless. And what happened was, when they finally figured out their power, everyone's starting to unite. So as a collective consciousness, we're all coming together and uniting again. But we can only focus on who's ready. Some of you are just now starting your journey. Some of you are wondering, what is this existence, right? I try to talk to my parents about things I'm learning. They don't understand what I'm saying because they think that they're them, right? Because what happens is people get so attached to the physical realm when everything is from within. In order to ignite your consciousness to attract, I know people say law of attraction. Well, law of attraction takes action. That's why there's action in law of attraction. No, and that's why evil people still get what they want, because evil people still take action. Everybody, it's not about just meditating. It's not about just calling out your affirmations. It's not about just journaling. It's about taking action. At the end of the day, the person that's gonna not journal and not do any of that, actually, I made money before I started journaling, before I started meditating. And then when I figured out about that, that just brought, because I had everything external. But I realized that everything external is just a facade. Everything internal is what matters. I know billionaires, millionaires who are empty. They're empty vessels because they wanted stuff. And you get so much stuff, and you have to pay for that stuff with fake stuff. And I'm sure everybody on this call is going to have that. Get your nice car, get your nice house, pay for empty rooms where you have a high AC bill. Go get the nice car where your insurance is a rack a month. Go retire your parents. Also, if you want to retire your parents, make sure that you are conscious that your parents have needs too, right? A lot of you say, I want to retire my parents, and I've done that, but all I'm telling you is that it requires you to put in extra effort, right? If you want to retire with 5 million, you better think about 10, because your parents also need things, right? And they're getting older, so there's a lot more health. There's a lot more things you have to be mindful of. But when you think about that, that helps you understand, okay, well, what's my grand goal? Why do I need this money? What type of impact am I going to make to my parents, to the people around me, right? But in order for you to become that person, which Daniel knows, is to become that person at the highest level, you go through the shedding. Because in every garden, right, and I want you guys to think about this, think about your garden. And when you look at your garden, how many weeds do you have in it? How many flowers can you see? How many trees? And the trees are the one you got to pay attention to. I'm going to tell you what the trees are. The trees are your belief systems, who you believe you are, what do you believe your purpose is, who are your thoughts. Because one thing that I realized going through my journey is that I'm not my thoughts. My thoughts are just programs of my environment. Everybody that I've been raised around, everybody I've eaten with, everybody I've connected with, all the music I listen to, the parties you go to, that is your thoughts. Those are the things that control, right before you go to bed, right? You have this music playing, this voice talking. If you can listen to the voice and observe the voice, then you know it's not you. But people have been attached to the voice because they're so close to the cage, they don't even know they're in it. What I said? You're so close to the cage, you don't know you're in it. And what happened is people get so attached to that voice because that voice keeps talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. That's why, for me personally, I'll tell you guys what I've done. Thank you. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. And you allow your thoughts to float. But what you must do, let me tell you guys a technique, and this is what I did as my cleanse. I don't listen to rap music. I quit drinking, right? I love my brain. I love my memory. In order for you guys to become a billionaire, if that's something that you want to do, in order for you guys to really build fundamentals, you must not hinder your vessel. You guys are inside your vessel. You guys are the ones looking through your vessel. But you need this guy. You need it to take action. So don't hinder it. When you're around music, there's frequencies that can affect the way you think, the way you study. If you want to create this big corporation inside of your head, how can you do it when you're pouring liquid fire on your thoughts, right? If you're somebody who wants to do big, instead of fighting with your partner, learn to come within, right? One thing that's really important in everybody's next phase, which Nano knows about, is emotional intelligence, right? As you're evolving and you're in your garden, you must not get attached to the outcome. You must not get attached to becoming this person in this fame. All you guys are creating content and you guys want to be seen. Hey, look at me, look at me, look at me. It's not about look at me. It's about guiding, right? We need more leaders. We need more people who are going to become brave like Nano and speak out. Nano's not the only one. We need more of you guys to spread the word. And if you can't spread the word, bring them to Nano so that he can pour into their vessel. Because when people say you're full of it, I said, thank you. I love having a full cup so I can pour in everybody else around me. You want a full cup. But to have a full cup, you have to be around people like me and Nano. Because if you're around me, I promise you, I have at
You
least 6 books on me.
you do. You
Maybe
always have the
10.
books on you, bro.
Yeah, I keep the books on me because you know what they said? Somebody told me, they said, if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book.
Sheesh.
If you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. So then I went and bought 400 books. And I realized that, and then I realized one thing that's very important. Go back to this garden because I'm going to give you guys an imagery that's very powerful. So Nana's been through this. I've been through this. A lot of you guys on this call have been through this. But when you go through the shedding process, let's say you came through this awakening, like, oh my God, what is this reality? What is this existence? My parents don't know who I am. My friends don't know who I am. Who can I talk to about these very difficult conversations? Well, guess what? It's now time to deroot the tree. Don't cut the tree. Don't cut your friends off. Just deroot it. When you guys deroot a tree, it's going to be painful, right? When you remove a tree and you see the roots that have been ingrained into the rock, into the soil, into the sediment, that are entangled in other roots, because that idea of who you were is rooted into the bedrock of your thoughts. The idea of oh, I'm just this, I'm a Christian guy who I want my community to think I always do good. I don't want my parents to know that I do drugs. I don't want my girlfriend to know that I watch porn. I don't want my I don't want my parents to know, or my family to know, or my partner to know, or my friends to know that I'm really dishonest and I don't trust myself. I'm insecure. All these dark thoughts, right, are rooted on our thoughts. And when we remove it, it's painful. Friends start to leave. You get quiet. You're going inside of your room. You're trying to figure out like what the fuck's going on. Why are things just falling apart for me? But they're not falling apart. You asked for something so big, and you didn't cut your garden. You're derooting the garden, and now the soil is tender. And when the soil is tender, you must now plant new seeds. When you plant those new seeds, new friendships, new partnerships, new ideas about who. Stop saying that I'm getting to the money. You know, you have the money, because if you're saying you're getting to it, you're gonna keep getting to it. That's a form of lack. If you have to go get something, that means you don't have it. So I have the money, right? I'm getting more money on top of my money. And as you're redoing this garden, redo who you are, right? A very perfect form. If you create a circle for me, Nano, on that paper, create a circle and then create a bullseye where there's 3 circles within it. So 1, 2, and 3, right?
Circle.
When you create that, so create a circle and then create another circle inside of that, and another target circle inside of that, and then one more small circle. It's kind of like a bullseye. So it should be 1, 2, 3 circles, right? Exactly. In the middle of that circle, I want you to put
in the first one, right? In the middle one. Okay.
Yep, and the smaller one, identity. In the second one,
process.
I want you to put process.
Outcome.
And the last one, I want you to put outcome. So let me guess. I'm gonna give you guys a simple formula to change your life right now. Right now.
Like,
and if you're listening, right? Drop a 1-on-1
identity, process, outcome.
Identity, process, outcome. Look, guys, in order to change your identity, you must go through the process to get a new outcome. Just like to get a new outcome, you must go through the process of changing your identity.
Hold on, repeat that one more time, bro. You gotta repeat that one more time. This one, you're about to get deep on us. I can see that. So you said in order for you to change your identity, you gotta go through the process to get the outcome. To get a new outcome.
To get a new outcome. In order to change your outcomes, in order to change the outcome of your paycheck in your bank account, change the outcome of the way you feel in your relationship, to change the outcome of who you say you are, right? Because when you get upset, like if you're about to see somebody argue, and a person that can hold it within and listen has the power. Not the person yelling. The person yelling is extinguishing pain, but the person who holds it in has the power. So the outcome that you want, you must first write, what outcomes do I want? I want to be more emotionally strong. I want to be more brave. I want to be less insecure, less anxiety. I want to flourish in my skill. I want people to listen to me when I talk, because what I say is so powerful and it can help anybody. So if you want that outcome, what is your process? Is your process waking up every day? Is your process connecting with more people like this? Is your process going to events? Is your process joining the team? Is the process stepping away? Maybe that's getting a new phone number. Maybe that's creating a new person. You can even change your name. You could say your name 2.0. And that identity of that person, you wake up and you believe that you're that person already. You believe it. You believe it. You are. You are stronger. You are greater. You're making a ton of money. And you have to feel the feeling before it gets to you. Bob Proctor says, go ahead and feel the feeling, but don't become the emotion. Feel the feeling, but don't become the emotion. And that goes for your high level and your low levels. You must detach from the outcome. Because there's two things that we must have. Two things, guys, and I know you guys are getting a lot of sauce, right? And I'm giving this away because I want everybody to experience going to their promised land, whatever that looks like. I want everybody to find their mental breakthrough because everything is all in here. Nothing external is stopping you, right? You are not the victim. Nobody around you is a victim. You don't have to blame your parents for what position they put you in. You have to blame your boyfriend, blame your girlfriend, blame the system, blame the government. You have control. It's all in your mind. People just have downloaded the illusion from their environment of victimization because in the smaller communities, growing up in Section 8 low-income housing, what do we do in those communities? We abuse ourselves, right? We beat the kids, but we're also grown at the age of 7. You're walking to the grocery store at the age of 5, right? You're independent. But at the same time, your eyes grow up watching pain, suffering, people who are working low-end jobs, people who are just tired, people who aren't in the right state of mind, right? Low vibration. But once you step out and realize that this is not it, there's another way to this, then you step out of it. But a lot of you guys have to stop letting your environment make you think that it's all, oh, woe is me. Oh, it's because of my leg. You know, the person that says, oh, you know, my leg was hurting, so I didn't go to the gym. I don't hang around those people. If someone has excuses, I just don't, like, I'm good. As soon as I start getting excuses, I'm like, you know, I'm not for excuses. Why? Because I don't have time. If I want 1,000 Bitcoin and I got to protect my lineage, my legacy, I'm not going to get attached to an emotion. If someone said, oh, fuck that guy, Phil. And if someone says that, it's pain in their own heart. So I have remorse over them. Because when you are awakened, when you're somebody who is in the right state of mind, two things you got to have: grace and mercy. Grace and mercy. Why? Because when somebody comes to attack you, they're not testing your ability to respond. That's where responsibility comes from. Responsibility is your ability to respond. And how you respond comes back to how are you feeling about yourself. If someone attacks you and you know it's not true, are you able to hold yourself in a nice posture and feel for them, listen to them, let them discuss their pain? Or are you going to say, who is he talking to? He's talking about me. Because in society, we all say what, me, I. There's actually something I learned, this is very important, that when as speakers, when we say the word I, my, and me, people subconsciously turn off their brain because they think that we're talking about ourselves. And what happens is when people hear that, that's why when somebody calls and they just start hitting you with the, oh, dog, man, this stuff is happening to me. I don't know what's happening to me. Or girls are the worst. They'll gossip and talk about what's happening to them, what their man did. They chose the man, but their man did it. Or what someone at the job said, well, they chose the job. Or how they feel about themselves and their looks. Well, they chose to think that way about their looks. So everything is a choice. But people use it as their identity. Right? This is but this is why it's so important that we shift, right? I know we started with crypto, now we're talking about mindset and elevation, but this all works in sync, guys. This all flows together. And the reason why it's so powerful is that as you all accumulate wealth, as you guys on this call get value, as you guys continue to grow, and not just don't just think about yourself, because the universal law of exchange is that you must circulate, right? As I pour in, I pour out, right? What comes in me pours out of me. The way I talk to you guys, how I talk every day. This is my conversation every day. I'm going to talk about the money system. I'm going to talk about how my heart's feeling. The men around me were very open about what is our emotional level, even if we're being attacked, even if we're being victimized. If someone feels something bad about me, if someone says anything bad about me, I know it's pain in their own heart, because I've never in my life, I'll be honest with you guys, said anything bad about somebody where I needed to, because if I degrade someone, it's a reflection of how I feel about myself. If I degrade anyone, it's a reflection of how I feel about myself. It's not, it's pain from within. That's why people abuse themselves, because it's a way for them to communicate. People used to say, well, I thought fighting was normal. I thought fighting was healthy. No, fighting is a low vibration. We don't ever have to fight, because we are solutionaries, right? We don't just cause the effect. We're the effect to the cause. So that comes back to being grounded, getting rooted, knowing who you are, knowing what you stand for. You know what I'm saying? I kind of went on a rant there.
I kind of went on a rant there. Bro, that was, bro, I mean, I just been letting you do your thing, bro, because you just went down and, yo, you just gave us so much value. Guys, if you've been getting value from Phil so far, put some fire emojis in the chat. Yo, Phil, you just went on a rant, but it was one of those rants that could take you off. It was in flow. You know when someone's in flow and you just kind of, I didn't even up because I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to get into that, but yo, there's a couple of things I do want to ask you about. Some of the things that, can you repeat the 5 characteristics of money really quick for me? Just so because I kind of missed a couple of them.
Yeah. Okay, so in order for money to be money, so if you guys are at the dinner table, if you guys are talking to your parents, and you guys are trying to tell them what Bitcoin is, what this digital currency is, remind them what the 5 characteristics that something has to be to become money. 1, has to be divisible, right? Money must be divisible. Number 2, portability. You must be able to move this thing around. That's why they had seashells. That's why they had the tulip bubble. That's why we had gold tokens. Recognizable. You and I both of us must recognize that it's actual money. This is actual currency. This is actual value. And let me see, portable, recognizable, scarce. And the last one, it must be durable. Durable. Now, to me, when I think about that, the most important one is scarce. And last time I checked, we can print an infinite amount of money. So when people like Warren Buffett just came on yesterday and said he doesn't believe in Bitcoin, that is rat poison, but you and I both know we're not going to listen to somebody who's 90 years old. Yeah, you were good with money, but this is a whole new generation, right? Your generation already took advantage of a lot of real estate, even though there's still real estate potential, but the fastest way for our generation to then build wealth is going to be through Bitcoin at the end of the day. And anybody who doesn't believe it just doesn't understand the characteristics of money. They don't understand the flow of money, right? Satoshi Nakamoto, which if anybody doesn't know who Satoshi Nakamoto is, it's the anonymous creator or creators of Bitcoin. The reason why they created Bitcoin was to expose the system, the printing of dollars. Because over time, us as people, we've been working, we've been grinding, we've been trying to save money, but no one understood the economics and the fundamentals of money. And that's where we get hindered. That's where we get stopped, because for us to not be able to look and say, what's really going on? How much money really exists out there? And what's going to happen when all these countries who are now deciding not to use the American dollar and that money comes back? Example.
You need to talk about that, bro, real quick, because I feel like a lot of people see it. A lot of people see what's going on, like with the news and China and all of these different countries, you know, not accepting the US dollar anymore, not deciding to use it anymore. Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of make it in a way where kids can understand it? Because I feel like some people hear it, but they don't really understand what's going on. So can you break that down for us so we can understand that a little more?
Okay, I'm gonna give you some real life examples. World War I in Byzantine Germany. The United States made Germany pay for the repercussions of the war. The only way to do that was for them to print money, which means for them to to devalue their dollar, similar to Venezuela, similar to Nigeria and a few other African countries. You've had to print your money to pay. So example, if I owe Nano $5,000 and I don't have it, right? I'm gonna go and just go to my computer. I'm gonna print what I don't have, right? Or I'm gonna get a credit card. I'm gonna pay Nano with my credit card. So now I'm -5 on top of my other $5,000 in debt. I'm not -5,000 again, right? And what happens is every time I have a payment to you, I get another credit card, another credit card, another credit card. So the U.S. has been using this credit card system nonstop, where our debt is about to exceed our military spending, right? Like, so imagine like your lowest, let's say your expenses are $10,000 a month, right? For your lifestyle. Well, let's say your minimum payment on your credit card just reached $10,000.
Sheesh.
And you make 9,000. That's the American economy. So what happened in World War I, Byzantine and Germany, they had to pay for the repercussions. So in Germany, they had to print their money. So then a loaf of bread went from being, let's say, American $1 to American $100 overnight. I'll give you another example. Let's say Nano had 100 books he's selling. Let's say your books have been all over the world. Let's say people lose trust in you. They lose the charisma in you. Everybody's gonna send back your books. Everybody. Every book, they don't even want their money back. Everybody's just sending back your books. What are your books worth? If everybody that bought your book, you sold over 1 million copies, they all send it back at the same time.
Nothing.
They don't even want money back. What is your book worth? Nothing. So what's gonna happen when all these dollars that we've sent out, we've been pumping out dollars. Every country is like, straight.
We don't want it.
Straight. Send it back. So what happens is, as that comes back to the United States, this is what it's gonna look like. Any of you guys who are in real estate knows that China has been eating up our property. If you go and look at the MLS, you go look at different trust accounts that own plots of land in the United States, China is eating our lunch. That's why housing is so expensive, because they're sending that money back, but they're buying what is considered value to us, which is real estate, right? Tangible goods. You just don't send the money back and get a lot of money in the US. No, you got to go buy up everything, and the cost of everything goes up because the demand for money coming back is so high. The money has to go into something, right? So what you're going to notice is that as we continue to go, inflation is going to keep going up. Life will keep getting expensive. And what's going to happen is it's going to get to a point where gas has the potential to be up to $20.
So you think this is what you're
right? Saudi Arabia.
This is going to get worse. The prices for everything is going to keep going up.
Absolutely.
And people are going to be making the same amount of money.
Stagflation. Absolutely. Stagflation is when you have inflation, but everybody's making the same amount. Because here's what's happening right now. We had 2020. We had COVID pandemic. You had lockdowns. You had a lot of things couldn't get inside the ports. Well, all those goods that couldn't get through, it caused a massive spike in demand, right? And then after everybody spent their stimulus checks, we had a massive fall. But when we print all that money, it went all over the world. Everybody's price of goods went up. And now the country's not making more money, right? But here's what's happening. We're going into the next phase of the revolution. You and I both know it's the digital revolution. And just so everybody on this call, if you're from other countries, this is the time where it's open, right? It is, you are either on ChatGPT, on OpenAI, using all this infrastructure. You should be on ChatGPT at least an hour per day, learning how to do prompts. If you're not learning how to do prompts, you're extinct. If you're not utilizing AI today, you're extinct. If you're not going to incorporate that into your business structure, you can build a whole business right now on ChatGPT. But a lot of you guys don't know how to ask it questions. You guys don't know how to facilitate. So now go spend an hour a day learning how to ask questions. And those questions are going to help you realize your purpose in life too, because some of you guys don't know your purpose because you don't know how to ask yourself the right questions to know what your purpose is. It's not about what you know, it's about what you ask. And if you guys need a self-discovery, ask yourself these questions, right? Go back to building fundamentals, because as we move into this next phase of, it's called the fourth industrial revolution, right? We're out of the information age Information is spread like wildfire. Spirituality is spreading, consciousness is spreading, money is spreading, awareness is spreading. And even in the workplace, people I know that are in corporate, they struggle because people are so unconscious. People still gossip. Who has time to gossip? If we're in a recession. All we can do is lift each other up, because the higher we elevate and not discriminate, the higher we can co-create, right? So that comes on the foundation of understanding who we are. People still gossip. People still talk bad against themselves, right? I'm not good enough, or I'm not this. No, you are amazing. You are great. People that understand who they are understand that what you think of yourself, if it's negative, it's an illusion. Remember, you're the empty space inside of your shell. So as the empty space, you have the ability to now learn, okay, if the world is changing right now as we're talking, if we're evolving as a species, what am I doing right now to win? What is my strategy? What is my 5-year strategy? What is my 10-year strategy? Who am I? What am I? What new companies exist in the future? How can I position myself to win? How do I position my family to take advantage of the generational transfer of wealth happening right now? Some of you guys on this call, you guys want to be, there's a book called Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet-David. Your Next 5 Moves, it's very important to grab this book. Why? Because a lot of you guys need to understand your next 5 moves, especially if you don't play chess. You must understand what's in front of you, but what's also next after your next move. And 2 things he talks about: entrepreneur and entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is going to go off on his own and cultivate, create a community of people that believe in one common goal. The entrepreneur is, if I go rock with Nano and say, yo, I want to help build your brand, and I'm building my brand as I'm building Nano's brand, so we're working together. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to ride with his rocket, building my own. But a lot of people want to be by themselves. Why? Because they have this idea that I'm going to make this money doing jobs for myself. It's not going to work, because if you think it work, how do trees get rooted? They grab each other's roots, right? They lock in. So if you're going to create and cultivate a garden full of powerful trees and foundations that are built off of trust, leadership, growth, independence, then you must be able to latch on to somebody who's also on fire, right? But when you become the entrepreneur and the entrepreneur, right, both cultivate and work together in unison. A lot of you guys just have to figure out what's your goal, who you want to work with, and how can you give value to other people. The reason why Nano is so successful is because he gives jewels to everybody on here to win. The reason why he's going to receive so much gratitude, so much abundance, so much appreciation is because when you guys change your lives, that is a recirculation of gratitude back to Nano. And as you guys change other people's lives, it's circulation back to you, back to Nano, back to the people pouring into Nano. It's a conscious effort, but we all must pour into each other. Everybody that I'm around knows that I can't have any conversation but this. This is the only conversation I can have. I don't want to talk about sports. I don't watch sports anymore. Why? Because that's an illusion. It's a ball, right? If you don't have any fundamental business skills, you should read a book about business, right? Like, if you guys want to learn about crypto, this crypto revolution, this book right here will change your life. This book right here will if you guys want to know about gold, the Bitcoin standard, right? These are things that are very important. If you guys want to know about the future, you got 1984. This book was written back in the day about what's happening in the future. And what these books do to you, it allows you to express is getting hit with knowledge because you're ready to take off. You're already ahead of the majority of people because you're taking action, right? And this is your reaction. Your reaction is collecting your thoughts and choosing which direction you're going to go, right? And what I did on my process is just listen to people like me and like Nano and take action. That is the law of attraction, is the action that I take. Once you understand that action is the most powerful form of affirmations, then you're going to break through, right? But I think this is a great opportunity. I think this recession, this period of downfall, because hey, the garden's being cut, right? It's time for us to come up and now the new leaders, the ones who actually have value in this world, to pour into those who are lost, right? To open their eyes.
Wow, bro.
Yes.
You're giving us so much value on this call, bro. I don't even know, like, over here looking at my notes, bro. Just like when you come to, I know you told me you're coming to Miami. Let me know, bro. I'm gonna get a reservation for us. We're gonna have to go sit down and talk some more, bro, because you really giving us all this value. I got a couple questions for you though. You know, for someone who's on this call and you know, there's somebody that never got into crypto, they've never even bought a cryptocurrency, you know, and they're really, to be honest, some people I know on this call, they're not even participating in this digital revolution as we speak. You know, how can, you know, what would be your best advice for somebody who wants to get into that digital revolution and start to, you know, take it serious, especially after this talk? Because I know that if I was on this call and I wasn't a part of this digital revolution, I would be scared right now. I would be like, sheesh, man, I've been missing out my whole life on this. Like, I need to get into this. So what would your best advice, how can you really, you know, start to educate themselves and really start putting themselves in a position to take advantage of this digital revolution, brother?
Man, that's a beautiful question, and thank you for asking that, because I understand that a lot of you haven't started this journey. I was there right with you. I was working in a corporate job, sitting at my desk, and I was screaming at everybody, "You
And
gotta
I
get
want
a part of
you
this
to
crypto."
explain the importance of being a part of this revolution as well, because I want you to really.
Okay, all right. So to run that back, for those of you who haven't started, for those of you who have thought about it, you don't know what to buy, where to start, keep it easy. I know Nano talked about it. Coinbase, probably one of the easiest platforms to understand. There's some education on there, and keep it simple. There's a model called the KISS model. Keep it simple, stupid. So keeping it simple is buying things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, right? When you sign up, I don't care if it's $10. I don't care if it's $5 every 2 weeks. Put something instead of nothing. I had friends in the last run who put $100 into one coin and they made 20 grand. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that don't neglect the small amount for the big amount, because crypto is going to follow inflation. And inflation is what they're doing to it. When you guys go to the grocery store, I know all of you are like, yo, why is it 3 times as expensive? It's not up by 5%. No, it's up by 3x, right? Some of you guys have never experienced an X in crypto. My first time experience an X, and what that means is instead of you putting $1,000 and get a 10% return, you put in $1,000 and you get 10,000. And when I figured out what Bitcoin was for the future and how powerful this technology is for our generation forward, I cashed out my retirement. I cashed out everything and put it into crypto. I got a 40x on my returns. I did a lot of things with the money. My mom, she is 68 or 69 years old. My mom knows about more crypto than anybody her age. Why? I told her to just trust it. She bought it. My mom, just got to give you a picture. My mom worked in a warehouse for most of her life, an Office Depot warehouse here in Atlanta. Her retirement was only at 50 grand. She put 20 grand of that into crypto. She made 150 grand in a year in crypto. So if my mom at 69 years old can risk 40 to 50% of her retirement, get up to 150 grand, anybody can do it. I don't care if you start with $100 every 2 weeks, $50 every 2 weeks. Start with something, because you guys don't want to miss this generational shift. This is the biggest shift happening in history. And a lot of people are sleeping because they're trying to survive. They're trying to, and let me tell you, so in a way to teach your parents what crypto is, or what Bitcoin is, or even what the blockchain is. There's a story I used to tell. This used to be actually a little story I use. You guys can use this story if you guys like, but it's a Christmas story. I talk about a girl named Susie. Susie used to go to her parents to ask for a bicycle for Christmas. Well, her parents said, okay, Susie, we'll get you a bicycle. Well, when Christmas came, she got a toy bike. Not an actual bike, but a toy bike. Susie was pissed off. Susie's 8 years old. Susie says, you know what? I'm going to go direct to Santa through the blockchain. Because remember, the blockchain is where you just take out the middleman. I don't have to no longer go through the bank to get to my money. I go straight to my money. So Susie then goes to the blockchain and says, I'm going to send my request directly to Santa. And when she sends her request, what happens is the reindeers and the elves are the nodes. They're working on the computers, making sure that Susie's Christmas request is valid. It gets to Santa. When it gets to Santa, Santa receives it directly and then sends back Susie's bike. And it also gets put through the nodes or the verification to get back to Susie. And on Christmas, their parents are like, how'd you get a bike? And Susie said, I went straight to the blockchain. I went straight direct to source. There was no intermediary. So the parents are in position, the bank. Right? The parents are the bank and the middleman. Once you remove the middleman, direct. Now me and Nano can exchange without the bank having to tell us, oh, you can't send Nano 50 grand. You can't send Nano 100 grand, right? Now when we go to other countries, we can exchange and go buy land. Why? Because in El Salvador, there's actually a project that they were doing. And the future idea of the project was if you and I wanted to invest inside of a food truck in El Salvador and they tokenized it. So say a food truck, it's tokenized and you and I want to invest into it. Well, we can now buy that entity or that crypto of that tokenized asset to invest into it. And then the money that comes in paid in by crypto on a smart contract, you receive your dividends every time it makes money. And you can be anywhere in the world once you can tokenize a business. And when people pay in crypto, the smart contract will then send the investors directly their pieces of their share. Because the future of investing, we're going to be able to invest globally from our phone. But people just haven't adopted the idea because it's so new, right? This idea of cryptocurrency, this idea of a new form of exchange is here. Now, I want to give you my Bitcoin. I'll pay you in USDC, but I don't want to give, my Bitcoin is my long-term asset. This is how I create generational wealth. If you guys on this call can save up and get a chance to buy one Bitcoin, you put all your money you can into buying one Bitcoin, that right there in the next 10 years will suffice you to be able to live for a very long time. Just one Bitcoin. Because I don't think you'll be able to buy crypto after this next bull run, maybe 2026, 2027. It'll be like buying $1 million house. Yeah, you'll put $10 in, but what does that $10 do? So right now, the most important thing is to get on board right now to understand that the digital revolution is here. AI, robotics, cryptocurrency, blockchain, right? And on top of that, just so you guys know, for those of you on the call, there's a CBDC coming out, the Fed Now coin. The CBDC, for those of you guys who don't know what the CBDC is a central bank digital currency. What is that? It's a new currency that's going to exist in the world. The CBDC is going to be what China's already launched. And you know what the CBDC does? It controls us. So if me and Nano are giving you guys sauce and the government doesn't like that, they can devalue the money in our wallet. If you go to protest for something that you don't like, they can stop you from taking Ubers, from buying plane tickets, from leaving the country. If they want to increase spending, they can make the money expire. And this is coming now. Like they've already done the pilot. And if people aren't educated, let me tell you what's going to happen too. Stimmies. Say, all right, guys, economy's crashing. We're going to give out stimulus checks, but we're going to give out in CBDCs, the Fed Now token. Everyone's gonna be like, oh yeah, free money, free money, free money. They're gonna adopt it. That's gonna be the new standard. And then what's gonna happen is now they have control. The banks don't have control anymore. The Fed has control. It's on their blockchain. They can see how much I send to Nano. If I buy too much fast food, they can block me from buying fast food. If I'm paying for porn online, then they'll flag me, because then that goes to your social credit score. And then when they find out if your social credit score, example, if you litter in public and the cameras catch you, ding, social credit score, right? And this is gonna happen.
This is wild, bro, what you're saying. I didn't even, bro.
It's coming. Yeah, look up the Fed Now, the CBDC. I've known about it for a while, and that's what made me so passionate. But to tell people, it's time. You must take action now. You must go and start reading. You must start educating yourself, so that way You don't fall in line with those who are walking into a brick wall. You have your private currency, which is Bitcoin. You're going to have your central bank digital currency, which is going to be the control over people who don't have control of themselves. Because that's what the government does. It's to govern your mental, right? That's where government comes from, the etymology, to govern your mental. And if they can take over more control of the people, and I mean, you ever watch Bugs Life when you were younger?
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Life, where the grasshoppers and Bugs Life,
Yeah,
where like the ants
yeah,
collect
Buzz
the
Lightyear,
food
of
from the
course.
grasshoppers. So let me so the etymology is that the ants are the people, and the grasshoppers are the 1%, the elites. The grasshopper wants the ants to think that their army isn't more powerful than the grasshopper. So what they do, they go to the ants, they take their food. Inflation, increased interest rates, cause people lose jobs. You make people feel scarce. When you make people feel scared, or COVID, shut them inside. Tell them all these things are happening. Well, what the grasshopper did to the ants is they made them feel powerless. And you and I both know we're more powerful than we give them power. You believe that the politician has power, so you've now handed over power to them. You told yourself that another human has more power than you, and you believe it. Everybody on the call believes that their boss is their boss. That's why they call them the boss. So what happens is, once you've now given that power away, like to the grasshoppers, they suppress you. They suppress you and suppress you, so where all you can think about is surviving today, surviving today, surviving today, surviving today, and you can't think about your future because you're trying to survive. And then that's when you put in CBDCs. Don't worry, we're gonna inject you with cash, but sign up to receive your $1,500, $2,000. Sign up here, and guess what everybody's gonna do? They're gonna sign up because no one's gonna say, "What is this? I don't want that money." No, they're gonna give away themselves. It's like during COVID. There was an 80% participation rate in that tracking thing that they put on our phones. There was an 80% participation rate. People were willing to give up their location. That was a test to find out, oh yeah, people are ready to give away their
Even with the
rights.
vaccine, no?
Vaccine too. People were like, inject me. Because guess what? People actually believe that they were going to kill their parents. People really believe, I don't care who's on the call and goes against what I say. People actually believe that paper mask, like if you're a giant looking down at the universe at people and they're wearing a paper mask on their mouth, people will eat microwave food, but they'll put a mask on their mouth.
That's crazy, bro.
So at the end of the day, it's very important to know what these things are so that you can protect yourself. Bitcoin is not just something to make, you're gonna make a lot of money regardless. You guys are gonna become wealthy, but you must protect yourself because all this stuff is coming. And if 2020 didn't wake everybody up as far as the attack on us, the attack on our wealth, the attack on our future as young people, then we need us to come out there and fight. That's why I'm passionate. That's why when I went through my awakening, I talk less about crypto because I was like, damn, it's not about crypto. People need to wake up because when they find out who they are, then they know that Bitcoin is just a freedom mechanism, a freedom tool. If you have to leave the country, you're not going to carry bags of gold. Customs are taking it. You can't carry your house. You can't take your car. You can take your hardware wallet. I'm not saying you'd have to leave this country. I'm just saying at the rate we're going, if you had to, then you could take your value with you. So that's what's important with everybody on this call is if you have not invested, think about it, right? I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you to drink the water. I'm going to lead you to the water and let you drink for yourself because I want you guys to win. Everybody that's on this call, you winning allows all of us to win because now we can all cooperate and delegate. We can all work together in unison. We can all be at the promised land, if you want to call it, right? We can all build a foundation for not just our family, but our friends to be the example. I don't want any old friends or family that I have that doesn't listen. I'm not there to convince anybody. That's the last. Do not convince. Even if you find out how powerful Bitcoin is in crypto and you made a lot of money, do not convince them. Focus on yourself. Focus on you, because at the end of the day, when you've been told and beliefs that, remember that tree, that tree of the belief of who you are. Once you've had that tree in your mind for so long, you only believe you're that person. You only believe you're capable of this much. But when you find out you're this powerful, right? Then you're everywhere. You're like me and Nano. You're traveling in the world. You're shattering your paradigm. You're meeting people from all over the world who are pouring into you. You're finding out how powerful you are based off of the reflection of the people you're around. Because the people you're around is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. So if you're around powerful people, you feel powerful. If you're around people who gossip, then you can't talk about yourself. That means that you're hiding how you feel about yourself. You have to talk about other people. Because it's easy to gossip. It's easy to talk shit about the person next door. It's easy to put somebody down. Try picking something up. Right? It's a little harder. That's why you have us. And we're aware that everybody's going through difficult times. This is one of the most challenging times where people are cutting jobs. People are going through their entrepreneurial journey, but they may not have hit their bang yet. They're trying to create their personal brand. They're trying to create content. They're scared to talk in front of the mic. They're scared to share their journey. They're scared to share their story, but we need your story. Guys, we need more leaders going into this next revolution. And yeah, it's a revolution because we have to fight not only for who we are, what we believe, but the future of our legacy. And you got to stay strong. And it's going to take all of us getting together, all of us getting on more calls, right? And that's why the digital revolution is so vital, and buying cryptocurrency is so important
Bro.
for the next
Wow,
revolution.
that was amazing, bro. You have made this 1% talks. I know now why my spirit. You gotta get cryptophil on 1% talks, because bro, the value that you just gave us, man. Like, bro, I literally have like 4 notes nonstop, book recommendations, you name it, like websites, the 5 characteristics of money, derooting the garden, the 4th industrial revolution, CBDC. Like, you gave so much here, bro, that I gotta go back. Book recommendations, you name it, bro, and it just goes to show how amazing, you know, it is to go to networking events, bro, because had I never gone to that networking event to learn and just to connect, I would have never met you, bro. And I'm just so blessed and grateful. When are you coming to Miami exactly?
Tomorrow, I'm gonna book a flight in like a few minutes. I booked my flights the day of, so
Yo,
I'll probably book
let
it
me
today
know, bro,
for
so we
tomorrow.
can link up, have some dinner, bro. We definitely got to chop it up, bro. I would love for us to talk some more, man, because, man, there's just so much happening right now. And I want to definitely involve you in a lot of the things that we got going on, because just the community, all of us, we can gain so much
Yes.
value. And just our purpose here is to wake people up and to help people. You know, you said something earlier that really touched me. You know, you said, you know, one of our purposes here is to ignite the spirit within us and help people ignite that spirit within us as well. And, you know, that's what my purpose is. I want to ignite, you know, people's spirit. I want people to deep-root themselves and figure this stuff out. And that's why I dedicated my life to morning, was to really help people, you know, reprogram their mind and become the better versions of themselves and do these amazing things. So, guys, make sure that you guys follow my brother CryptoPhil. He's one of the best out there in the game. Me and him are going to be doing a lot of more collaboration, especially, you know, 2023 and on and on. But, bro, thank you again so much.
Hey, look, I'll say one thing. If you give me a date, I'll even pay for it. We'll do a live podcast event in any state that the majority of your people are in, and I'll pay for the event. We'll do a live podcast.
Bro, we need to. We need to. Yes, let's talk about that at dinner, bro. Actually, if you come through and you got a couple and you got some time, let's sit down for dinner. We should go to Bad Bunny's restaurant, bro.
Let's run it. No, I'm there. Yeah, no, this is gonna be. I think, you know, look, to have like-minded people in the same room giving power is very important for us. You know, we'll invite a lot of high net worth individuals in the room, and anybody who's on this call who just wants to listen to some high level conversation.
Yeah, now we could do it in Miami, bro. Miami's a hub, bro. Everybody loves coming to Miami.
Yeah.
Well, bro, again,
Yeah,
thank you so much, guys. Make sure you guys follow my brother CryptoPhil, show him love. You know, check in with him. He's one of the best in the game when it comes to just not mindset, but just everything, understanding what's going on, the future, and everything. So again, from the bottom of my heart, bro, thank you so much. Quick question: do you have any last things that you want to say for the family before you go?
Everybody who's on this call, I appreciate you sticking in. I hope you got a lot of engagement, a lot of knowledge. If there's any questions you have, feel free to DM me. I'm working on redoing my brand, actually. So I'm focused on just giving you guys as much tools and value as possible. So interact with me. I'm always available, and I'm always down for high level conversation. So, and if there's any book recommendations, guys, I have hundreds of books. So if you guys want to know what's in this head, it's right behind me, so I can recommend any book that you need if you're on whatever journey you're on. So,
bro, we're gonna run it up, bro. We got big plans, and you fit right in, bro. You're the missing puzzle piece to what it is that we're about to do, bro. We're about to go up, and we're gonna change not just hundreds and thousands of lives. We're gonna change millions and millions of lives worldwide. And I can't wait to do it alongside you, my brother. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Hope you have a blessed day. Let me know when you copy your flight, and let us know when we could, link up with some dinner. My weekend is free. Love you, fam. Have a good
brother.
one.
Love you
All
guys.
right, guys. Have a good one. Love you guys. I hope you guys got a lot of value from today. Make sure that you guys follow him. Just know that this digital revolution, we're in front. And I really do believe that we are in the front of it right now, especially if you guys are connected with me. And it's not because I want to make myself seem better or anything. It's not that. It's just if you guys are connected with me, if you're a part of my network, this is the kind of information that we have access to. These are the people. This is the network. This is just the community that we've created is one of a kind. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to lead us to that freedom. I'm going to lead us to the promised land. You guys just need to trust me. You guys need to trust me that everything that I'm teaching you guys, that I'm guiding you guys through when it comes to the mindset, when it comes to the financial revolution, the digital revolution, everything that I'm doing here is for us to wake up more and for you guys to hear from not just me, but hear from other people as well. So I hope you guys really do have a blessed rest of your day. I appreciate you guys so much. If you guys want to get more involved in the digital revolution, let me know, because I am extremely plugged into it and I know exactly how you guys can get started with it. All right, fam? So I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday for the next episode of 1% Talks. God bless, man.